Well, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a web developer. I'm not a designer. I'm not a interface designer. I'm not, I'm not an audio person. I'm not a video maker. But I'm very interested in all those forms and interested in working with people who know how to do those things. So for me, I knew from the beginning really that any work I would do in digital media would have to be collaborative. In a way, it would be the same if I wanted to work in film or television, in that it's very unusual to do everything by yourself in those mediums, and I think digital media is the same. It's fun being a writer who works with technology. I enjoy collaborating, and also I enjoy thinking about the future of storytelling. I find that process really fascinating. I also think that we're surrounded by visual media, and visual media is becoming more and more and more easily and readily available to us through, who would have thought that people would want to watch television on their phones? But, that's all around us now. And we communicate visually with tremendous ease. But at the same time, I remain very interested in text, very interested in language and what you might think of as good writing. So I feel strongly that it's important to be trying to think about how technology and writing can go together, and how literature needs to kind of find its way and carve a space in the digital realm. I definitely think that the audience for this type of work is a different audience, and I think at the moment it's a fairly small audience because I think we're at the beginning of kind of exploring what the potentials are, and that audience will grow and change. I think that as more young people arrive on the scene who are very accustomed to having technology very centrally in their lives, that will have an impact as well. But I also think that if you're thinking about the future of storytelling, you have to include the book in that as well, because I think that the last 20 years have demonstrated that the book itself is a very durable form of technology and durable platform for storytelling, and that's not about to go away. So, I think that readers today have a huge amount of choice, both in terms of books are more accessible than they've ever been in the past, but also in new types of new forms of storytelling. It's a kind of golden age that we're living through. Well, I think any writer who's interested in digital media is this. It's a very exciting time. It's a time for all kinds of potential experiments and connections. It's also a time when you can connect with audiences in more and different ways than ever before, through social media, through just through connecting with people online. I think that also has ramifications around accessibility and diversity as well, which are really interesting. The fact that you can connect with other people without ever leaving your room. So I guess my 3 top tips for a young writer who's interested in technology would be to experiment, to keep your eye out for what's going on in your town or your city in terms of digital media meetups, digital media activity. Lots of towns have festivals now. Lots of towns have different versions of a Twitter meetup, those kinds of the opportunities to actually meet people in the flesh that you might have met online. And also I just think sort of keep your ear to the ground, really. I think the best advice for any writer, whether they're interested in technology or not, is to read. And I think that that's as true with digital media as it is for the novel, for instance. You need to read. You need to look at what's out there, experience it, and try to think about ways in which you might get involved.